Hello and welcome to another episode of the Dugout Podcast. I am your co-host Andrew, and I'm joined tonight by my fellow co-host Marissa. And we are back for episode 7 of season 3's The Dugout Podcast.
Final episode of 2024.
Yes, the final episode. We'll be taking a week or two off before the new year, because Marissa needs to enjoy her Christmas festivities. You know, it really no, honestly, right? It was not me that requested it. It was you. It was you that suggested it, that requested it. I'm happy to work through the holidays. But Marissa, she needs her.
Marissa.
Yeah, she needs
so
her
how
time
the
off.
video can get edited in Christmas week?
Pardon?
How the video is going to edit in Christmas week? You don't think our producer wants to enjoy Christmas week with his family?
Everybody does, but our producer, I'm sure our producer would work through the holidays as well if requested. I'm speaking on his behalf. By the end of the day,
and we was gonna come in here and record all year's night.
If need be. If need be. In fact, if you can tweak a couple things and record a different day in the week, don't try to misguide the people. But anyhow, can we move on?
Sure.
Can I get on with the show?
Sure.
Also, I'm this week I'm sure that people are how do I put it? It's a lot more easy on the eye. Last week I had a very, very horrible shirt. So this week, we want to thank you on behalf of the viewers and stuff like that for dressing appropriately this week. Right, Marissa?
When you roll in here with you Trite shirt and you Sabozale shirt and you McAllister shirt, you don't hear me making these comments. So I don't understand what's the need for the shade.
Because it's you. that's why it was. I feel like that's part of what it was created.
Oh, whatever.
To throw shit at you for my own enjoyment. All right, so first thing on our agenda, we're going to discuss Manchester City, who slumped in the dying moments of the game at the weekend, slumped to another defeat, one win in their last 11 fixtures. The question that was posed was how does Pep fits this slide, this tumultuous slide? Or you want me to go?
I posed the question. How I can ask a question? You throw it back at me.
Sorry, but maybe say
okay, fine.
I'll go ahead.
All
say.
right.
So, 1 win in 11 for Pep and Manchester City. How does Pep fits this slate? I feel like before we started recording this, I had a really nice answer, a real nice, thought-provoking answer. But honestly, right, I watched a game on Sunday, the Derby. It wasn't the best game from either team, but I still feel like City did enough to get. Well, I still feel like if any team was going to win it would have been City. I felt like City still were the better team in general play for the most part.
But they made credit on it. I think United have.
But they had control.
Yeah. But without really they weren't really threatening.
Yeah, but you said they had better chances, but to me, not to me, they didn't look like they was really going to score.
They had
chances.
Bruno missed a pretty.
Right. That was one. That was one.
That's one. Mm-hmm. Well, the game was had few chances,
but City still a more constructive team in terms of build-up play and stuff like that. Controlling possession.
I don't know. I was quite bored.
Fair enough, but I feel like it's just one of those things. You can't legislate for individual errors.
True.
And it was an individual error that led to the. Actually, were two. Both goals were individual errors, but it was an individual error that led to United getting back into the game and getting the penalty.
What was it that you messaged me?
What did I message you? Next Thursday.
Sorry. I mean, it was very, very similar. Not in terms of like a sliding tackle, but in terms of like it was his, just like Sarr. Because remember, in the build-up to Chelsea's goal, Sarr had lost the ball on the far side, and he came charging back in the middle. Yeah. And similarly, Nunez with the loose pass.
Oh, sorry, that wasn't Sarr. That was Basuma.
Oh, shoot. Sorry. Sarr was the second penalty. Right. Sorry. But then Nunez had a loose pass to Edison, and then he just went charge. It was
like, whoa. It was like, I don't know. It's like he charged me back, and then that you couldn't stop. You ever watch a movie? What movie was it? It was a movie where a guy couldn't. Mighty Ducks, where the guy that was kidding couldn't stop. I don't know how to break. It was like he couldn't stop. It was almost like a throwback to that moment.
It was crazy. It was a crazy challenge.
And then the second goal was poor decision making as well from Nunez as well, because I know a lot. I'm surprised that nobody really mentioned it, but there was no pressure on the ball when Martinez clips the ball over the top. Diallo makes the out to inward run on the blind side of Gabriel. Nunes is in left back position. He sees Diallo. He doesn't go for him to start with. Diallo gets the ball first, splits it above Edison's head. And all that time, Nunes is there jogging and ball watching. It's almost like a Zinchenko in Champions League final moment. Just watching. And I was saying to myself, in retrospect, if he actually charges back towards the goal line like Gabriel did, I know Gabriel wasn't able to get the touch to clear the lane. But I think he would have had a chance to maybe stop it from
I agree,
crossing
because
lane
it wasn't like it didn't have a lot of force to the shot.
Right.
And I think it actually kind of went under his legs, or
it went through Gabriel's leg. But if Nunes had charged back on the lane as well, instead of he just it's almost like man the time stood still and he just watched everything unfold. And so
I felt like a draw would have been a fair result in the game, to be honest. I don't think neither team did enough to win.
Fair enough, but I'm just saying City were in control.
Yeah,
leading.
they were.
And at that point, before the mistake, did you think they would have got equalizer?
No,
I didn't either.
I didn't.
Exactly. It was just a
but
matter
outside of that Bruno chance,
right.
they didn't.
Exactly. So my whole thing was like, it's just a matter of whether or not City would have been able to score a second goal, which they weren't. But it didn't let you know we're going to fashion anything either.
Right.
So it took a mistake.
Yeah, but 1 win in 11 though, like that's very unusual for Pep. I think he even himself admitted it. But how does he fix this?
Well, he don't need to admit it because.
But he admitted it though.
But he don't need to admit it. It's a fact. Yeah. Pep has never been on a run this bad.
It's true.
Ever. Not at Barcelona, not at Bayern, not at City. This unprecedented stuff that we're seeing. I honestly believe it's just a case where the squad has been hit by injuries to a lot of key players, and a lot of other players have had a different form, and some of the French players on the squad aren't producing or aren't as good as the ones that he may have let go before, or that he had at his disposal before. I think it's a collection of things. But honestly, I think when more of their players come back, the form will improve. But again, it's something that's going to be slow. Like, because clearly to me, the team's confidence has been knocked by the string of results. So I think when they get the players back, the form will improve. But again, I don't think it's a case where there's just a moment and we can play with the same team again next year. I believe next season in summer we will see some acquisitions from City. We will see some reshuffling of the certain areas of the team. Yeah,
I also think it goes back to something we mentioned on one of our shows in the past. I think the summer recruitment wasn't great either. They didn't replace Alvarez either. Bob got injured. There was no replacement for him either. It just felt like, because City's bench looks very thin as well with all the injuries, and that's not usual. Even when they've had injuries, they still had a really strong bench. But that's definitely not the case now.
But I can't recall them ever having this amount of injuries at the same time. If you talk about John Stones, Grealish, Doku, Diaz. I mean, recently, but you know what I mean? At the same time, De Bruyne was out as well. Foden was out in between there. A lot of players were out. Kovacic, Rodri, long term. I mean, that's 8 people I don't call.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure there probably got 1 or 2 others that I could mention as well that were absent. But you're correct. And again, it brings back the question again. How much has their transfer business recruitment been affected by this looming 115 charges from the Premier League? Is that
I heard some rumors that it did.
But and something else that you must mention is that it's only recently that Pep signed the contract extension. So but his future could have also thwarted new additions. And then there was the change of, I think they changed their chief executive or something like that as well.
Something like that.
So, yeah.
But my other thing too is how much, and we haven't really spoken about it, but how much is, you mentioned how the 115 would have impacted their, well, I hear it's 130 now.
Yeah. I haven't heard that.
Yeah, I heard it's 130. But let's call it 115 for them.
Yeah.
Let's say that you said how the 115 may have impacted their transfer business, but how much do you think the looming issues of that is actually having an impact on the squad? Don't you think that they are... I know Pep comes in the media all the time and shows a brave face. I've been told we've done nothing wrong, that we're innocent, whatever. But how much do you think that is impacting them? Because it just feels like such... And they didn't start the season badly. They didn't actually, yeah. So it just feels like so out of the blue. Like it
Everything
feels
went
like
off the cliff.
Yeah, it feels like there could be something else that is happening that maybe we don't know. not dressing room unrest, but I'm thinking about with the 115. I think a punishment is coming early next year or something like that. Is that? I don't know.
Not sure.
But do you think that that's having an impact?
Me no, because the 115 was there and the one Champions League, the one Premier League titles with the 115, it was always there.
True.
I honestly simply think it's a case where I harken it back to Liverpool's 22-23 season, where after that season Klopp changed the entire midfield. I think it's just a similar case where certain areas of the squad, certain personnel maybe need to be refreshed. Kyle Walker,
for sure.
Jack Grealish. I know
They've
not been there that long, but he's been plagued with injuries.
Yeah, they've needed left back for a while too.
Correct.
No way Nunes should be playing there.
Correct, exactly. Because that means Ake's injured too, right?
Yeah.
Good. The midfield, Kovacic is, kind of old. I think he has to be at least 30 by now, if not more.
That's not old.
But you know what I mean?
Yes.
He's not a young player. So there, and then you still have to make a decision on. I think you have to make a decision on Gundogan. He came back, but he hasn't had the season. He hasn't been the Gundogan that we remember.
It's true.
In the first stint. Foden has struggled with injury, so there, and then put the injuries aside. Our friend Kenneth, as you would have mentioned, Doku and no Sabino, Lord step overs and stuff like that. But in terms of statistics, their numbers haven't been high.
It's funny. I'm now hearing a lot of people in mainstream saying the same thing too.
Exactly. So I just think it's a case where certain areas of the team maybe need to be refreshed. I don't think it needs a big overhaul. I just think certain players, a freshness.
So that's the only way Pep can fix it, by getting fresh players?
No. I'm saying I think his form would improve. But I'm just saying, like, going forward long term, he will need to fit. He may need to change a couple of things, one or two players, and bring some fresh faces to create a new environment, a new challenge, a refreshness about his squad. That will help. I honestly think that City's form will come back. Okay. I honestly think in the new year the form will pick up. I think that City. I still think City will make top four. Still think that. I still think that will happen.
Well, that's actually a good segue into our next segment. The title race and the top four race.
Right.
Do you think that the teams that are in the top four race... Okay, first let me ask this question. Which four teams... No, sorry. I won't ask two questions. I know I get myself tied up. Okay, so let me ask you first question.
Take your time.
Do you think that the same teams that are vying for a top four are also challenging for the title?
I would say three. At this point, three.
Okay.
The three that I would say are challenging for the title are Liverpool, Chelsea, and Arsenal. I don't think it would take a lot for City to come back on me from here. That's truth. But because I think right now City's major concern should be arresting this declining form and getting back on track in terms of building back confidence. I don't think right now City thinking about a title. Right? But obviously because Liverpool have dropped points in the last two games, it means that City's kind of like similar to where Arsenal were a couple of weeks ago, where he said they're on the precipice, right? But for sure, I would say that right now title challengers would be Liverpool, Chelsea, and Arsenal, right? I still think City will finish in top four, as I said before. I think right now Forest is in fourth place after beating West Ham.
Oh, yes. True.
Yesterday. But do I think any other club will break into the top four besides the Liverpool, Chelsea, Arsenal, and City? No, I think that will be our top four at the end of the season. The order might be a bit different or skewed, but
okay. So you don't think Villa, Spurs, United, and Newcastle can challenge for top four in the second half of the season?
How far away are those teams from top four?
Let me check
before I answer that question.
Let me check. In terms of the title race, though, before we get back to the top four, you said Liverpool, Chelsea, and Arsenal. Chelsea.
Right.
What would I say? I mean, I can't honestly sit here 2 points behind you and say that we're not in the title race.
That's my point. Exactly. At this moment. Now, the question is, can Chelsea sustain
the form? into February, March, correct, April, May? That's the question.
I heard Jimmy Carragher said on Monday Night Football. Sorry to mention his name, but I was made aware. I actually didn't hear him say it. I was made aware, but we know who Chelsea found out was.
Wait, just don't call you man.
If I didn't want to put the map on front, straight up play voice, no, I got my phone out. And the man talked a whole, plethora of rubbish this morning. But one of the things he said that was truthful, at least facts. factual. He said amongst other things, he said very, very clearly he wanted Jimmy Carragher to keep his name his mouth, right? He didn't use the Will Smith F word though. Praise Lord. But
I agree though.
I know you would. But Carragher said, for example, that when he looked at Chelsea's squad, he doesn't see a title-winning team, right? And he merely highlighted the goalkeeper and maybe some certain aspects of his defense, I believe.
Okay, goalkeeper I agree with. You know my feelings about that.
Yeah. But I think what Jimmy Carragher should be reminded of, and he of all people should know this. Look at the Leicester team that won the title. Jimmy Vardy, Conte, Marissa, call somebody else from that team. Casper was a good goalkeeper, but I think about that, you would look at paper and say that is a title-winning individual.
No.
He had 3 world-class players.
Yeah. But I think my frustration with Jimmy Carragher comes because the very first match they had, like, we had just played Manchester City.
Right.
Winner of the Premier League for 4 years in a row. We finished 6th last season,
right.
12th the season before that. And he went on Match of the Day and talked about how we're not a young and exciting team and how people need to stop signing for us and all this blah, blah, blah. And it's okay to have your opinions. But it's also okay to admit you're wrong too, you know.
I have a different recollection of what he said, or at least I had a different understanding. I remember what he said. Now you mentioned, I do remember what he said. But I was more under the presumption from what I heard that he meant that it was more. Remember, that was the point everyone was talking about how large your squad was. I think he was
and spreading a lot of faults, as I must say.
Right, I think he was on. Well, he was. His point for me was more like, oh, Chelsea need to stop signing players because the squad's too big, and you all just need to work on building a nucleus of a team. Blah blah. That was where it was getting from that conversation. But I'll let you finish. Go to you.
Right, so my thing is that I just think that I agree with Chris. Just stop talking about Chelsea because it just feels at this point that, and I found the narrative interesting. The narrative has shifted. When we beat Spurs, one of the first things Carragher said is that this is not underdog story. We spent 1.2 billion. Sure. What I hear about that 1.2 billion argument is that yes, we've spent 1.2 billion, but nobody ever mentions how much players we actually sold. Okay. Our net spend is actually not as high as people think it is. It really is not. We have sold more players. If you look at the stats, we've sold more players in the last couple of years than most clubs in the Prem. Number one. Number two, it's just been funny how the narrative has shifted from how, oh, we're not a young and exciting squad. Our squad is rubbish. We spent a lot of money on a lot of foolish players. To now people talking about how fantastic our squad is. And I saw a comment from Claire Clichy just before we came on talking about, because we spent 1.2 billion, it'll be a failure if we don't win the league. But these were the same people that were saying that our squad was rubbish and we wasted money. So it's so funny how the 1.2 billion get thrown at you when you're struggling and it gets thrown at you when you're doing well. So my thing with the media and the pundits is that I agree with Chris. Like, just leave us in our own bubble. We don't mind not being in the title race. We don't mind people writing us off. But, sometimes give people credit. Give Marissa credit. Why are we pretending that Chelsea have spent a lot of money, but again, if you look at the net spend of other clubs, it may be slightly higher, but not as bad as people making it seem. Why does nobody mention how much money Arteta has spent over 5 years? Only this season. And he come out today talking about how somebody said that, he's only won the one trophy. And my man talking about, no, we won 2 community shields as well.
All right, but wait. So because I don't want to make a narrative like 50 defending Jimmy Carragher. I wasn't. What I was going to say about the point that Carragher was making when he said he looked at the Chelsea squad and didn't see a title win inside. I mentioned Leicester as one example.
Right.
Carragher should be remiss to remember that 2013 Liverpool, Gerrard, Coutinho, Suarez, Sterling, but a very young and average team, and almost was one Gerrard slip away from winning the title. So don't come and tell me that a team can't win the title just because the goalkeeper will be bad. It's unlikely sometimes. But what I'm trying to say is that I think I actually was making the point that Carragher was giving me all a disservice.
But he's doing that because
I think it's because he might want Liverpool, so he might want
Not only that, it's just that it's almost as if he knows there's that clip going around about him talking about we're not young and excited side.
Right.
So it's almost as if he can't give us any credit because it looks like he's backtracking on his comments. So he's always gonna, and as I said, there's certain things I agree with. I don't think that Robert Sanchez is a goalkeeper that I can feel comfortable with in terms of winning a Premier League title. He had some really good saves against Brentford, but the thing is with Sanchez is that you get one really good game and then 2 or 3 on the trot where he does stupidness. So I do understand that, but like you're saying, is like, stop pretending that, title winning sides have cores, a good spine. Goalkeeper, centre back, good midfielder, good striker. I get all of that.
But sometimes an old sign player can take you very close or to a championship.
So it's like the media is like these people just don't ever want to give Chelsea credit.
But my thing. So what I was saying that when Carragher says that, I want to say about Carragher to finish is that Carragher needs to be careful because you kind of
bordering on bias.
Yeah, not only bias, but you need to be careful because I don't think you should dismiss Chelsea just because the goalkeeper. Because right now Chelsea are playing with a lot of confidence. They're creating a lot of chances and they're scoring goals, and they're outscoring most teams. So
all teams.
And the defense. Well, the defense has moments where it isn't always as sound or bulletproof as you would like it to be.
That's a good term.
It's not a case where, for example, they got mugs at the back.
Exactly.
I mean? So like for example, I still have my doubts over certain players. Like I still have my doubts over Badia Shield. Defensively, I have my doubts over Fofana so far. But I know you had the injury or what's not. Robert Sanchez that you mentioned. But I get the narrative as well when people mention the money that Chelsea spent. And I guess the narrative I think was that Chelsea buy a lot of players that aren't good enough. It looked that way. There are some players that you bought. Remember we went through your all squad time. But then there were some that I knew would come good. I always maintain, I always maintain that Cucurella was a good player. There's no way that I thought the Cucurella, I thought Brighton wouldn't have turned up at Chelsea eventually. I thought Caicedo was a good buy. I thought Lavia was a good buy, seeing at Southampton. So for me, it was just a matter of whether or not how long it would take or which coach would get the best out of these players, or find a system for them that they'll flourish. We all know that Cole Palmer was the truth. Let's call him that, the truth. Two ways about it. From the time I was at City, the man show himself, the man don't hide. All right. Nicholas Jackson, this is more like Nicholas Jackson I saw in preseason. I got excited about.
Because I remember you messaged me. You messaged me that first preseason on the Poch.
He looking
like this Jackson guy, yeah.
Right. He looked more like himself now. Sancho, when the team is good for him, Sancho leads company party. So, Sancho let me
Sancho look like Dartmouth Sancho.
Look like Dartmouth Sancho. And it's interesting how he's all, when the team's struggling, he's good. Yeah, when the team, looking good. He's company party. But nevertheless about Sancho. Neto was a good buy. Neto was a good player. I always thought Neto was a good player from the Wolverhampton days. So, the only real sign that I question about Chelsea was he Madrid when I see what he looked like. We know he knows for other reasons right now. But when I saw what he looks like, it's like, okay, I ain't sure about that one.
Yeah.
But
could have so easily gone to Arsenal.
Could have.
That's another thing. Arteta wanted
but maybe Arteta would get something better.
Maybe.
Who knows?
Maybe.
But the point, yeah. So I think again, the question is more or not whether the question marks that are on Chelsea in terms of the defense and stuff like that, Sanchez and his whatever the case would be. It's more a case of whether or not Chelsea can maintain this consistency.
Yeah.
Whether or not the defense will firm enough that it will propel them. Because as long as Chelsea in it, as long as no significant injuries will happen, Chelsea is the team that you got to take seriously.
That's another thing too. Injuries have been. We had our bench was probably the weakest on Saturday. Sunday, sorry, we had probably our most set of injuries for the season. But injuries have been very kind to us this season compared to last season.
Right.
And then you mentioned a key word there, consistency. Chelsea were very inconsistent over the last few years, lately because of all the upheaval, all the coaches and stuff. But now you're seeing a level of consistency. And I just wish people would remember, and this is why I always said, even when we were struggling, this is a young team. This is not a team of 26, 27, 28-year-old experienced players who are performing poorly. These are young players, many of whom are inexperienced, many of whom were playing their first seasons in the Premier League. We're literally playing a whole new team last year. Cut us some slack. And now you're actually seeing the benefits where, again, it has been amazing how the narrative has shifted to how trash we were, how trash our squad and our players were, to what I hear Robbie from AFTV talking about how we have this amazing squad. He was not saying that last season. And the squad has not drastically changed from last season to this season with the exception of Neto and Felix and stuff. Obviously, Nkuku was injured significantly last season as well. So it's like, I will more drift towards what Henri was saying in terms of he wants to see Chelsea beat a big side first before he can, and I can go with that rather than what Carragher is saying, because I think that's the next step. I don't want to call Tottenham a big side, because you were talking about are they a basic side, but whatever. I want to see. I want to see, for instance, when we went to Old Trafford again, struggling United, the form we were in, probably should have made that 3 points. Arsenal, Chelsea was a relatively even game. Slot came out last week and said that the only team he played this season that he felt was better than Liverpool was Chelsea. I think I came and I told you.
I don't think he was lying. I think Chelsea had a better game playing that game.
Again, so it's like, I really do think I agree with Henri. To me, that is, yes, as I said, I can't sit here and say 2 points behind Liverpool that I'm not in the title race. But for me to I don't want to say that we're challengers yet. I need to see us beat a Liverpool, beat a United, beat a City, beat a Arsenal before I could really commit to that, because we haven't. We've only beaten Spurs, we've drawn with Arsenal, United, and we've lost to you and City. And I need to see the results against the traditional top 4, I say it, be better before I could say, yeah, Chelsea can challenge for this title. Because right now, I don't think we can, because I haven't seen that next level yet. So that's what I would say.
Okay. Right. The other team is Arsenal.
I'm surprised you said that they're still in the title race, though.
Yeah, because they are still in the race because Liverpool drew the last 2 games.
That's true. 6 points. Oh yeah, they're only 6 points.
Exactly. That way said you can't rule them out.
Right.
So,
I know everybody like to put a game in hand as 3 points, but you never know what can happen.
Right, I don't count game in hand, and the game in hand is Everton. At Goodison. It's probably a midweek game now. It was probably an early kickoff, and probably a late kickoff now. Marissa, that atmosphere will be rocking.
Yeah, it's true.
And Everton fighting relegation, potentially.
Yeah.
Although they've got a couple points recently, but they kind of still be thereabouts relegation. Right, so and we don't know the sales pitch is easy. The last Marissa derby at Goodison, Liverpool might win the title. What y'all gonna do about it?
It's true. We would love to do anything to offset it.
Exactly. There's a very, very easy team talk for Sanjay to have whenever that game is started. So, but Arsenal, I said Arsenal, they're not over it because Liverpool drew drop points the last 2 games. And I think Liverpool is a difficult one for me because Liverpool definitely into the risk because leading, but again, I think I started saying I could sound like Chelsea too. I started saying I don't think everybody had Liverpool.
I definitely didn't have
anywhere near to the challenge. I was probably one person that said, well, Liverpool went really close, and I think they could at least be thereabouts. I don't know if they will win it. I definitely didn't think they would win it. So I thought this was more of
going to be a transition season for y'all, but y'all have really surprised me, to be honest.
But the 2 games that we dropped points, it's like I don't know how to feel about it because it's not even a case where it felt like Liverpool played badly. It was like
they didn't.
The first half against Newcastle was off color, but the second half was really good performance and
y'all drew because of a mistake.
Mistake, right? And then the game against Fulham was even going on 10 men. They went on 10 men early, but then the response was really, really good, and it was a game that I still felt like we could have been even done with 10 men.
Yeah, but still a good point given that y'all were down to 10 really early.
But here's my thing.
And 1-0 down.
I have an issue with Liverpool though, and it's not an earnest slot thing because it was happening on the clock a couple times last season as well. They start games very slowly. There's a lack of intensity at the start. It almost takes like a 30-minute spell. It takes about 30 minutes for Liverpool to get going. It's like they start currently you let it run for a couple minutes before you actually start before you actually drive it. And Liverpool are moving like that again in certain games this year, and I don't like it because it's not all the time we're going to be able to respond and claw back a result. So I think Liverpool need to be wary of that. That lack of intensity at the start is something that, or lack of sharpness, is something that I think Liverpool fans or Liverpool as a team should be concerned about. But they are into the race. I say, like, I don't understand what you mean. Chelsea to the race, but I get what you mean in terms of still question marks of whether or not they can sustain it. Arsenal still into the race, and I think Arsenal would have went into the season with genuine title ambitions, aspirations. So the frustrating thing for them is that they have dropped points and they have had certain moments where they failed to capitalize, especially in a season where City have been so poor performance-wise or results-wise. So I feel like, Arsenal, your team or almost your team or your fan base with the biggest disappointment. This how things are going.
Yeah, I agree. I think really truly their defense is keeping them in the title race. Arsenal look really toothless at times, to be honest, lacking imagination. Seeing some people in their fan base complaining about it. We've joked about it.
Right.
And I think Henri said it as well on Monday Night Football and talked about, you can't really be considered in a title or title challengers if you're literally relying on a set piece for a goal. And I think that's set pieces and Saka. Set piece, Saka and Spurs. That's to me what Arsenal are. And I think I don't know. Like I said, I can't get it figured out. I know they don't have the mountain of injury. It wasn't even a mountain, but they don't have the injuries that they were complaining about early in the season. But something just isn't clicking. Arteta is making some strange decisions as well. I don't know what's happening with Sterling. He probably paid him more in the Carabao Cup, right? Yeah, probably. But Sterling can't see minutes in the Prem.
Sterling was there sometimes actually.
I mean, like it's just interesting. Like, and again, it goes back. I talked about it with City. And it feels unfair to talk about City and Arsenal transfer business when y'all literally did nothing.
Me?
Yeah. But it's still different because City holds the plug, in my opinion, because of departures and injuries. But Arsenal, for me, the talk around not having a clinical goal scorer was there since last season. But instead, your summer was Mikel Merino, midfielder, Ricardo Calafiori, left back, left-sided centre-back. Who else did they buy? Raheem Sterling on loan. That was it, right? I think, and a number 2 goalkeeper, I think.
Yes, they bought a number 2 goalkeeper. Yes,
that is not the summer of a team who wants to move from. They lost the league by 2 points, right, last season or something like that.
Yes.
That is not the summer of a team that wants to close the gap and then extend it, in my opinion. You can't rely on injury-prone Jesus and Kai Havertz for your goals.
But it's not even that. You call him injury prone Jesus. I'm not even going to go that far, right? But even from Gabriel Jesus's City days, he was never prolific.
True.
He was never prolific. It was like he was almost like he was chipping vital goals at times, but he was never prolific. He was never 25, 20. And I guess when he made the move to Arsenal, it was a question of, okay, now that you are more likely going to start through the middle on a consistent basis, can you, become that prolific scorer? Because then the argument would have been the reason that he wasn't prolific was because of the City rotation. But no, you're saying that wasn't really the case. Havertz, again, was never prolific.
True.
There is a role for Havertz, and there is a setup where Havertz can be effective. But he's not going to be the 25, 30 goal a season.
Yeah.
Goal getter that you want. And again, like you said, Saka's a decent goal scorer, but he's not prolific either. Neither is Martinelli, neither is Trossard. So, and in midfield, apart from Odegaard, doesn't really contribute heavily to goals either.
It's true.
But it's not really in terms of numbers. It's more like when Arsenal are playing well and are creating good chances, they're not converting because that's where you get the lack of clinicalness from the likes of Havertz and Gabriel Jesus in certain positions. So that's why people were advocating for a striker, a number 9. Somebody that is prolific. That's kind of tough in this market as well.
It is.
It is. Can Arsenal afford it? But at the same time, yeah, I mean, you could take a little 50, 60 million that you spend on Mikel Merino and maybe 10 Alexander Isak at Newcastle.
Yeah.
For him, Ivan Toney was there at Brentford. I know he saw Arabia doing God knows what.
Victor Osimhen was there too.
Osimhen, yes. But I think Osimhen would have been realistic with their budget. But I get what you're saying. So there were options.
Yeah.
Mikel will go on.
Yeah. So I think it'll be interesting. I would like to, maybe when we come back in January, I'd like to do some predictions of where we think people are going to finish. After the festive season? Yeah, just do some predictions.
Yeah, but that little 2-week spell now that we're going to enter in between now and the New Year, that's going to be interesting to see where the points table lays.
Yeah, I won't be fooled though because I know our fixtures are significantly better than the teams around us. So I won't be fooled.
You mean in lead up to the New Year?
Yeah, in lead up to New Year.
I know New Year you play a couple big games.
Yeah, but in lead up to New Year, it's pretty favorable.
Yeah. I was looking at
Yeah. So you had asked a question earlier, so let's revisit the top four race.
Right.
Currently Nottingham is 28, City is 5th in 27, Villa is 7th with 25, so that's only 3 points behind. Spurs is 10th, 5 points behind.
Great.
And United in 13th, 6 points behind.
Okay, but I just honestly points tally, to get a little gauge and also not be like Carragher. I give myself a little bit of room for what I'm about to say. But my opinion don't change. I honestly think that the top four, I think City will recover enough points to get in top four. So I think top four are the same top three and City. And in terms of teams you mentioned, Nottingham Forest, Aston Villa, Newcastle, Tottenham, Man United. I think United are too far back. I think they're still going to be a up and down.
I agree.
Pitch of inconsistency.
Spurs are also
Spurs can also be up and down as well. And I think Newcastle will again also be up and down. And I think Villa will have an indifferent season in terms of up and down results as well, balancing Premier League and Champions League. And I think Forest are on a good run, but I think Forest will have their games where they're dip and come out as well. So I think.
So basically, what you're saying is that those sides that I mentioned, you think that they are too inconsistent to really mount a challenge for top four.
Correct.
Okay. I think that's fair. That's
the only thing I will allow them to get into top four is if City continue to do this backwards slate.
It's true. Because I think your point. The reason why I think your point is a good one is that it literally sums up those four teams that I mentioned perfectly. Villa, I think, are challenged by the fact that. Sorry, I forgot to put my phone on silent. Villa are challenged by the fact that they're in Champions League and they're doing well in Champions League, but they're having some indifferent results in the Premier League. United and Spurs especially, you just do not know what you're going to get from United and Spurs week to week. Like, anybody that predicted Man United to win that derby on Sunday, I clap my hands to them. Because honestly, who would have predicted that? Because you just don't know what you're going. This is a team. That,
but I mean, you have to be worried because again, from last year, when you were bad, they always had a result in them.
Yes,
right?
they always have.
I was on the end of a couple, so I know for the more than anybody that they had a result in them, or they can have a result in them, and that was just an example of Sunday. I don't think mine were particularly great, but it's derby's emotional game that have to get 3 points. Say something that the fans will cling on to.
Yeah,
and that but I don't think Man U. People that understand football, I don't think we'll be getting too far carried away.
Yeah, exactly.
I think this first year for Amarin will be almost like Klopp first year at Liverpool, where good cup run or something would be welcome, but I think it'd be in terms of domestically league, it'd be up and down. The inconsistency.
And I think with Spurs to literally their results sum them up. You could thrash City 4-0 away and then lose to Bournemouth the next week. So you don't know what you're going to get from Spurs for any given week. So I think your call is correct. I do think the top four will be Liverpool, Arsenal, Chelsea, and City in no particular order.
And I'll go on a limb.
I'll
go on a limb. And I will also say the title winner. I think title winner. I know I said Arsenal still into the rest, but I think the title winner will actually be between Liverpool and Chelsea. I actually don't think Arsenal.
Let's shake our hands.
No.
We've come a long way from that first season Dugout when Cuz was in the bin.
Yeah, but I mean not a stroke. Chelsea Eagle.
I understand what you're saying,
but I think Liverpool are favourites.
Definitely.
Because I think Liverpool scores a little bit more experience than yours.
Yeah, for sure.
By saying I think since Kanada's injury, Liverpool's the concessional goals have started to increase a little bit, and that's a worry for me.
That's true.
I mentioned how Liverpool start games sometimes they're a little bit slow in starting. So I would like Liverpool to go back to a couple of weeks ago where everybody was raving about Arne Slot's control and how Liverpool sort of manage games a bit better. I think the last two games in league they've gone away from that a bit. Not really Fulham game because that was a special circumstance, but definitely Newcastle. But again, Newcastle turn up. Newcastle like Tottenham. One thing that turn up for a big team,
especially at home.
Exactly.
Especially at home. So
I think if Newcastle game at Anfield, I don't think you necessarily get that same level of performance.
Right.
But yes, so.
Okay. And I think for me, my side, the goalkeeper still has major question marks, and we're still very mistake prone, and I think we made errors that not directly lead to goals, but we do make errors that give the other team a foothold sometimes. There was a spell against Brentford on Sunday. We were in complete control of that game.
Brentford had a 5-minute spell.
And I'm like, where did this come from? And we could have considered one or two easily. Yeah. So I think that we're going to have a lot of those moments, and at some point a team will capitalize. So I think it's going to be very interesting. So we're definitely going to revisit this in January after the festive period and actually put our nets on a line and confirm. I think we both confirm who we think is going to top 4, but we're going to confirm the order.
Okay.
In January.
Right.
And we'll see how it shapes up in May.
Okay.
So this is just a fun question that I decided to throw. If you had to make one New Year's resolution for Liverpool, what would it be? So let me just specify. This could be a signing, a contract situation, just anything you will wish for your side.
It's very simple.
Mm-hmm.
I wish my New Year's resolution for Liverpool is that we win the league, because I mean we can win the league. Van Dijk left, Salah left, Trent left.
But you always have the league.
I will always have the league. I will go back to season 3 of the Dugout Podcast. I see that Liverpool won the league under my stewardship. Well, not my stewardship, but you know what I mean. I feel like, you know what I mean.
No, you stewardship on the slot.
But I can guarantee you that I will invite Kenneth back here. Any Liverpool fan I know back on the show.
Oh my gosh!
I know we pour red shirts. I can bring some non-alcoholic
I won't
beverages.
be here, right?
Well, I will insist. I will let you to be here. Even if you're not here, we'll call you.
I wouldn't want to be here for that.
And not only you, I want to call that other Christopher Cox. The way I want to call him too. But yes, and I will. So that's my resolution. My resolution that Liverpool lift the Premier League trophy come May 2025. That would be the pinnacle for me. It may start once, but again, it would be even more special because fans, no COVID, hopefully, fans are in the stadium. Got to have a proper celebration, and also like I think this crop of Liverpool players, which is still in a large way considered to be a Jurgen Klopp team. I think that they're good enough. I think that they did in history they should have one more out, just one Premier League title. So it'd be nice.
Okay. My New Year's resolution for Chelsea, winning the league is not really my New Year's resolution for Chelsea.
That's good to know. Don't be frightening.
I mean, of course, honestly, I would love Chelsea to win the Premier League, but my mind is not there yet. My New Year's resolution for Chelsea is that we stop insisting that Robert Sanchez is our number 1 goalkeeper.
Whoa.
I'm very serious. I'm very, very serious about that. Like, I don't hate Robert Sanchez at all. Robert Sanchez is just very frustrating for me. And I hate how every time he has a bad game or every time our number 2 has a good game in the Conference League, you always get these club briefings about how Marissa loves Sanchez and he's our number 1, blah, blah. He's not a bad goalkeeper. He is capable of fantastic saves. I heard a couple fans say, and I agree, what I love about Sanchez is that anytime he collects a ball, he always looks to see how he can start an attack. I love that. But Sanchez has these moments where it's like, you know when you're at school and you're in class and you're completely zoned out? That's like Sanchez for me. It's like he's just be there and he's just, I don't know what happens to him, but I don't know if it's a concentration. I don't know what it is, but he's not a bad keeper, but he is not a goalkeeper that you can say confidently, like Alisson, Edison, that you could say confidently, this goalkeeper would save me 10, 15 points a season. He's not. And I think that if we can actually, I mean, we have many goalkeepers on the bus. I just don't know who's good from who isn't, because I don't know a lot of them. But Sanchez is coming up on 5 yellow cards soon. Jorgensen played 1 game in the Premier, which was against Southampton. And he's okay so far, but I don't want to say, he should be number 1, because I need to see more of him. But I just feel like if Chelsea can actually acquire a world-class keeper, then I think that would take us to the next level. So that's my resolution, that we stop insisting that Sanchez is number 1 and get a world-class goalkeeper. And then my next year's New Year's resolution could be that we could win the league. Okay. So yeah.
Yeah, but I wanted to win the league last season.
Yeah, but you was right there, so.
Yeah. But I would like to win the league. I know it's teased Arsenal for the hope. It's hope that's kill you.
Yeah.
But I don't want Liverpool to do that to me again 2 years in a row. Give me a little hope, that I can win it. And then.
Nah, I genuinely believe that y'all will win it. I don't think January's going to change my mind, but that's what I feel. I think y'all will win it.
Hopefully. Fingers crossed.
You're going to be insufferable, but also
No, but honestly, right, Marissa? I know I get on United tease a little bit, but I'm not wishing that we win it so I could like, be insufferable to you.
I know you're not going to intentionally be, but you just will be.
No, not at all. On this show, but apart from on this show, no. I want to win it so I can be insufferable to a certain Christopher Alexander Cox. It's him that it's you know you do tell him to leave me alone. It's him that I want. You know what I'm saying? It's him that I unleash my fury upon.
You know what I want though? You know what I want? I want another show between two of y'all alone before the season's over.
Sure.
I need to see that again.
Sure.
When it was that show was funny.
Honestly. It was funny.
Yeah, so know that Chelsea's in the title race. I just want to see that banter between two of y'all again.
I think we should have monthly. Maybe we could have monthly for a show play.
Maybe second, because I won't be here for the first for obvious reasons.
But you can be. I meant to join us, not to come.
We'll see. Fair enough.
I'm very. I don't mind battling two Chelsea fans.
Fair enough, because we'll be making our predictions, and I'm sure he's going to predict Chelsea win the league.
You come and talk a lot of rubbish.
Anyway, so before we take a break for our sponsors, we're going to do some leaderboard and predictions. We have like 3 weeks of predictions to do because it's festive period now.
Ooh. Okay.
But last week we had a very poor week. I only got 1 prediction right, which was the Chelsea win against Brentford.
Mm-hmm.
And you got 2 right, which was the Chelsea win and the Spurs win against Southampton. But other than that, we had Arsenal to win and they didn't. We had City to win and they didn't. And we had Liverpool to win and they didn't. So, yeah. So I'm still leading currently by 5 points.
Right.
So this prediction, remember you're supposed to be coming with your A game because apparently you've allowed me to be.
You say you're still leading by 5 points or no leading by
5 points.
It was 6 before, right?
It was 6 before. Mm-hmm.
Chipping in behind it. Keep going.
So let's start. Oh, this is actually a big one. Nice early kickoff.
Notice I look at pictures because you can't pull it over my right. I look at pictures.
Good. I want you to bring your A game.
You don't want that. Hey, babe, I zone in.
All right. Man City away at Villa. Who goes first?
I'll go first.
All right.
I am predicting a 1-1 draw.
I was actually going to go for that too.
I'm going to predict a 1-1 draw. I can't. For the last 2 or 3 weeks, I've been predicting that City will win again, and they haven't. So maybe I'm wrong this time, but I don't want to take the risk and predict that they'll win again. Only to get,
disappointed.
Yeah.
Well,
based on the board.
Yeah. I get it. I was actually going to go for the same. I think that this game is too tight to call. Because Villa lost against Forest on the weekend, even though they were away from home. But I think something got clicked for City at some point. I just don't think it would be Saturday. So I do think that this would be a draw, 1-1 as well. All right.
Now next one, look at this already.
Arsenal away at Palace?
Yes.
You think that's Disney?
Selhurst Park, Palace.
I wish. Wait, they are at home tomorrow in the Cup, though. They're at Emirates in Cup. Okay. Yeah. Again, I said last week that I think there was a team I said I think their position in league is a bit false. But definitely I feel that for Palace. I think Palace have not been as bad as the table suggests. But this is so hard to call. I think Palace, under the lights. I think he can go 1-1 for this too.
Palace and Arsenal?
Yeah.
Right. Palace and Arsenal. Selhurst Park. That late kick off, right? This give people a lot of trouble at Selhurst Park.
Yeah.
That was a rub my hand, right?
Yeah.
Whoever sees Selhurst Park by night.
Yeah.
For obvious reasons. I'd be on the end of something.
3-3.
Right, so you said you're going for 1-1 draw?
Yeah, I go for 1-1.
I go for 2-1 to Palace. I can smell the rat coming. I can smell troops cussing. I can smell Robbie, who we could get. I can smell the judges. Can't pronounce the words. I can smell Ty telling me that it's raining. You know what I'm saying? Tell you, so I gave it 2-1 for Crystal Palace.
All right. Interesting. We'll see. That's not a bad prediction, but yeah, I can't see Arsenal conceding 2 goals, but we'll see. Chelsea away at Everton. That's you. That's Sunday morning.
Chelsea versus?
Chelsea away at Everton.
2-1 Chelsea.
I hate going Goodison though. Goodison is like...
But you can't relay on Everton.
I know, but I just hate going Goodison. Goodison is like a bogey ground for me. But Brentford was also a bogey. Did you know that Brentford beat us 3 times at Stamford Bridge in the last 2 seasons?
I heard, when the game was playing, the commentator did mention that Brentford's recent record at Stamford Bridge has been good.
Yeah. I'm actually going to go 3-1 Chelsea. That's probably the worst prediction weekend, but 3-1 Chelsea. Man United at home to Bournemouth. This is going to be an interesting game. Your turn. No, my turn.
Sorry. Apologies.
No
Got a
problem.
little bit distracted. A relative was messaging me.
That's okay.
But what was your Chelsea prediction?
3-1.
3-1. So I went 2-1, you went 3-1.
Yeah, I think that's a bad prediction, but hey. Man United at home to Bournemouth. Bournemouth are playing well.
Yes, they are.
Bournemouth are playing well. United are United. I mean, if Forest could go at United, I mean, I think Bournemouth are more than capable. But I'm going to go again with 1-1.
Okay.
I don't know where these 1-1s coming from, but that's my prediction. 1-1.
I'm going to go for 2-2 draw.
Fair.
I actually want to tip Bournemouth to win as well, but I feel like Man will get something.
Yeah, I think
but
so.
But it would not surprise me if Bournemouth was to win.
Yeah, I wouldn't either. Liverpool away at Spurs. My gosh. Thank God you were first for this. I need some time to think.
Have I won at Tottenham since they've been in New Stadium? I don't think so. No.
You know.
I don't think I have. Have we? I don't think I have. Well, so there's no better time than the present. Liverpool need to win. So I'm going to go 2-1 Liverpool.
I'm actually going to go 2-1 Spurs.
Ooh. May I ask why?
Clearly, I'm drunk. Clearly, I am drunk. But I just think that Spurs lift for the big teams except Arsenal.
Except you, clearly. Except you too.
They lifted. They were good in the first 20 minutes.
You got a pin. Pop the balloon. Let all the air.
All the air. But I do think this can be a draw or win for Spurs, and they're going to 1 Spurs.
Listen, right? If Ange that points off of me, I can turn into, oh my goodness, I can be the troops on Monday morning.
Oh my gosh.
You don't want to hear my mouth. So, on a Stohan company, please bring it home. Please bring it home.
All right, Boxing Day. Love Boxing Day fixtures. Love them. Man City at home to Everton. Maybe this is really script for City.
Yes.
Although we said that Arsenal would trounce Everton last week and they didn't. But I'm going to go with a 3-0 City win.
Okay. I'm going to go 2-0 City.
Okay. Spurs away to Forest. Oof. See,
Man,
this is...
You're missing results, man. They saying Chelsea against Fulham here first.
Oh, but all at 11.
Fair enough. Oh, you okay?
Yeah.
We pick and choosing. Go on.
No, it's just how the order come out on my phone.
Okay.
And this solidifies the reason why I think that Spurs can win against you, because I think they'll lose this. Well, this is your prediction first.
But they could lose both.
They could lose both. True.
As far as they're concerned.
Fair.
It makes me no difference.
Fair.
I think the better thing for them to do would be to lose both. Anyhow, my prediction: Spurs are away to Forest. Yeah, I think they lose this. I'll go 2-1 Forest.
I'll go 2-1 Forest as well. Maybe 3, but I'll go 2. Actually, should I go 3? Yeah, I'm gonna go 3-1 Forest. Yeah. Chelsea at home to Fulham. Gosh, Fulham are a good side, but one criticism I have, they did it against Arsenal, did it against you. When they score, they sit back. And I think they're better than that. Because then when they start to attack you again, yeah. I think it's going to be a tough game for Chelsea, and I wouldn't be surprised if it draws. Boxing Day is never kind to me. But I get back the boys to win, and I think this will be a very tough 2-1 win for Chelsea.
Okay. I'm going 2-0. I think Fulham
2-0?
get a point.
I won't be surprised. That's actually what I was thinking about going with, but you know, I get back the momentum, but I do agree that your prediction just might be right too. It won't shock me. Man United away at Wolves. This is you. Wolves sacked their manager. He's been unlucky though.
Yeah, he has.
Honestly.
But I think he was a help with the behavior of Wolves players at the end of the certain results. I don't think that helped.
Yeah.
For optics at least.
Yeah.
So I wasn't surprised. But yes, Man U away at Wolverhampton Wanderers. I think Man U wins this 2-1. I'll go for Man United win.
This is going to be the worst prediction on the show. Actually, no. I actually said it last week when I predicted that Southampton would beat Spurs 1-0 and Ange would get a shot. I actually said that was going to be the worst prediction weekend it was. This is going to be as bad. I think Wolves will win 2-1.
Interesting.
I think the butt got stopped somewhere, man. I think Wolves have been really unlucky this season. They have not. I mean, they were pretty bad against Chelsea in the second half, but and I haven't watched a lot of their games for sure. But I saw the own goal they conceded on the weekend. Like, how unlucky do you have to be for that to go in? I just think Wolves have been unlucky, and I think the luck got turned around. They don't have bad players. They're not playing awful. They're just not getting results, conceding late goals, conceding stupid goals. But I think Wolves can win this 2-1. Bad prediction number 2. Liverpool at home to Leicester. Routine win. 3, 4, 5, 6.
Yeah.
I'll go 3-0. Liverpool.
Yeah, I'll go 2-0.
Arsenal at home to Ipswich. Look.
I think Arsenal win this one 2-0.
I think they'll win 3-1. Or 2-1. But 3-1 I'll go with. God, so much football is playing. I love Boxing Day though. Boxing Day is like morning straight through to eat. I just love it. Because you got the 11 o'clocks, you got Wolves Man United at 1:30, then you Leicester. Love Boxing Day. Love Boxing Day. Man City away at Leicester. This is me, right?
Yes.
I think Man City will win this 3-1.
I'll go with that result as well. I think Man City will beat Leicester
3-1. Spurs at home to Wolves. This game's easy to predict.
I'm gonna go with Tottenham 2-1 win.
Tottenham 3-1. Liverpool away at West Ham. Liverpool to win 3-1.
I think Liverpool will win this one 2-0.
Chelsea away at Ipswich.
This me?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, sorry. Chelsea away at Ipswich. Chelsea to win 3-1.
Just judging from the past, I will never forget Boxing Day last year. Raheem Sterling open goal. Anyways, no, that was Christmas Eve. Anyways,
This is not about the game, but
I know, but I'm thinking last game of the year, it would be so like Chelsea disappoint me. That's what I was thinking. Just like Boxing Day fixtures. I think this could be a draw, but I'll back Chelsea to win 2-1.
Okay.
Man United at home to Newcastle. 2-2.
I'll go 1-0.
Okay. Arsenal away at Brentford. Oof, first game of the year. There's me or you? Hey, you.
This me, yes.
Rubbing you on. So.
Yeah. I like when people go in the community stadium.
I tell you, boy. I fight it a good day, you know.
And I think Brentford get signed for this game. I'm going to go 1-0.
I'm actually going to go 2-1. Brentford. Mm-hmm.
Well, come true, Thomas Frank.
Come true. And then the last set of fixtures. Interesting. Spurs at home to Newcastle. I think this has 2-2 written all over it as well. 2-2.
See, it'd be so hard to pick these fixtures because there's so many games in between.
So many.
So a lot of form things can happen, right?
Injuries, everything.
You're going 2-2. I'm going to go... I'll give Tottenham now. I'll go 2-1.
Okay. Chelsea away at Palace. Wow.
But this ain't the evening. So.
I know. But still, Selhurst probably still a difficult place to go.
I'll go 2-1 to Chelsea.
Me too. 2-1 Chelsea. Man City at home to West Ham. Routine 3-1.
I'll go 3-0.
Another
3-0.
interesting fixture. Arsenal got some tricky fixtures though.
I'm not happy about that.
Arsenal away at Brighton. Just 3
This
days after Brentford. Yeah.
Brighton to win this 2-1.
Brighton have been indifferent over there. I'm going to go with 2-2.
Okay, fair enough. That's still a good call.
Yeah.
I think they will play well.
And last but definitely not least, as you can see, he's rubbing his hands. And do you have to go first? No, I do. Liverpool at home to Manchester United. Manchester United to win, kidding. Um, Liverpool to win 2-1.
Always a difficult fixture to predict.
Oh my God,
It is.
so sick of you.
Listen,
Always gotta come with a big build up.
Diallo, come do to me. We do
Fairs.
in the FA Cup, or we do get City on Sunday.
Fairs.
So you know, gotta be wary. Always a difficult fixture to predict. You know, but I think Liverpool will. I definitely don't think Liverpool will lose. So I think Liverpool. I'm gonna go 2-1 Liverpool as well.
Okay. All right. So right now we'll take a quick break for a word from our sponsors. Whole Health Pharmacy, located in Jordan's Complex, Speightstown, St. Peter, carries a variety of products to take care of you and your health. Essential oils, muscle rubs, and the run-of-the-mill medications. And definitely don't forget your vitamins. Vinci sea salt, air humidifiers, tumblers, and women's havens pads too. We got it all for you. Don't forget your Barbados and natural Vinci snacks. So for sure you're gonna keep coming back. Ever hear about structured water? Well, tell your son, tell your daughter. Whole Health Pharmacy. More than a pharmacy, we take care of you and your health. All right, so we're back. So some news broke, I think it was yesterday, that Darren Sammy will become the head coach of all formats for the West Indies. This is ODIs and T20s, which he's currently the head coach of, and now the Test side from April 2025. So for me, this is an interesting, it's some interesting news. So the question I had for you, my friend, is the question I have for us, what does this mean for certain players and their futures? And when I say that, I mean, when you look at what Sammy has done over the last few years, Evan Lewis coming back into the fold.
How long has Sammy been?
About a year or two.
Right? I remember we spoke about it on the show. I think it was a year or two. Yeah. 2 talks.
So you had him bring back Hetmeyer into the fold. You had him bring back Rutherford, because Rutherford was on the outs for a while too with some issues. I'm not sure what was going on there, but he's back, scoring runs, playing well. Brought back Evan Lewis. So the reason why I pose this question is that a lot of people have been calling for people like Brandon King, Nicholas Pooran, Shea Hope. Do you think that Sammy becoming a Test coach will see more of those star players being brought back into our right ball side? Or brought into for the first time, I should say.
Potentially. I think okay, so I'm not surprised that they made change, because for some reason it flickered through my mind before the announcement for some reason. Because I noticed that Test side, after the encouraging start under the last coach, I found that things kind of like stagnated a bit. Now in terms of Darren Sammy and his record with the limited oversight, I still feel it's a bit inconsistent. They've had patches of nice encouraging results, and then they've had some disappointing ones as well.
Yeah.
Like you mentioned, maybe he's changed the culture and reintegrated a lot of players into the side. I think that certain players, yes, I can see Shea Hope, for example, now maybe featuring a bit more regularly across all three formats, or at least two of the three. Brandon King possibly. Sam Rutherford possibly, but my thing with the West Indies though is that I can see some of those players featuring a bit more, like I said, and maybe it might mean that on paper at least we have a more competitive side or a stronger side, but I still feel until our players individually, chiefly batsmen, start becoming a bit more consistent with how they go, are a bit more, mindful thinking, whatever you want to call it, in terms of how they go about accumulating runs in the longer format. I still feel it will run into the same kind of results and same kind of problems.
Okay. I think I agree. I definitely think you're going to see some changes for sure. One thing, you did mention it, Sammy results haven't been consistent, but I think that's just the West Indies.
Yeah.
To be honest. But I think I wasn't sure about the Sammy appointment. I think when he first got appointed, I wasn't sure about it.
I remember.
Yeah. But I've liked what he has brought to West Indies. I like the culture. I like the spirit. I like that it feels like a Sammy. Like, we've said a lot about Sammy over the years, how he didn't warrant a place in his side. He was just captain, especially in Test. But one thing about Sammy, he's a very good leader. He's a very, very good leader. And I think that has been showing up in our ODI and our T20 squads in his coaching. And I think it's a good appointment for the Test side. I want to see our Test side be... And there's no dig at Craig Brathwaite. You're now seeing Test cricket evolve to a stage where people are scoring at 3-4 runs over. And that is our natural gameplay. I want us to get to that point without being reckless. I think Sammy will bring an attacking mindset, and I think that's important for our Test side, especially our batters. And don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with 10 over 40 when conditions are bad or not great for batting, but I want to see us be a little bit more aggressive with our batting. And I think Alec Athens brings that. I think Kavem Hodge brings that. I think Justin Graves brings that. And I think that Sammy's not just going to get rid of those guys. I think certain players like a Joshua De Silva, who has not been performing of late, I think Craig probably should be a little bit more worried. Not necessarily in terms of the drop, but in terms of, I think Sammy will look to maybe bring a more aggressive option to the top of the order. Maybe he could just have Craig facility. I don't know. But my whole point is, I think it's a good appointment, and I think you will see players such as Hope come in. I think he'll have a whisper to Hetmaya and Puran, I think. Whether those players can, with all the franchise cricket that goes on, I don't know. But I like the appointment. And England have actually done similarly, Brendan McCullum, but they've gone the other way. Brendan McCullum was just Test. Now he's going to take over Test and the white ball. And I think I like that. At first I was like, okay, having dual coaches is good. But I think when you see a really good culture forming in one set of sides that you want to develop across, I think one coach is fine. And I think Sammy's a good option. And I'm excited for what could happen. And I want Hope. I want Brandon King. I want Hetmaya. I want Pura. I want our best players made available for Test. I know it's not feasible, but I think Sammy would definitely whisper in people's ears. But I also agree with you. Nothing is really going to change until I think we need a bigger pool of players. I think our temperament, our mentality needs to change. But I think it's a good appointment, and I'm looking forward to seeing what will happen.
Okay, I mean, so I don't disagree with anything that you said, to be honest. But I do think you think it's a good appointment. Okay, so like when you talk about bringing a more aggressive style of play, I more envision that with the captaincy in the field, for example, I more see that being a bit more aggressive, a bit more, looking to get wickets as opposed to necessarily containing teams only. I can more see that, being a strategy. Formulating. In terms of batting, though, again, like you said, playing aggressive brand of cricket is probably more so our forte to a certain degree. But again, And there's nothing wrong with the aggressive brand of cricket. We've seen a lot of aggressive test playing teams, or at least individual test playing batsmen. But I think the difference between other nations that are able to do that successfully and the West Indies is that even with the aggression, there's a balance, and there's at least one or two players that take it upon themselves to be responsible one who will, in certain situations, take the mantle to bat through the innings. No, I think Shea could be that for us, because I would expect, even if Purana might come back into the test team, you know, here I go in my head, I would expect me to play out, because I believe that them may still do the same thing that I was doing with the T20 and give it a hand cheaply, even in moments where it's not necessarily best time or the most opportune time to want to play big shots or what's not. I think Shea could be that for us, where I could definitely see Shea as an option to occupy the crease. But I think getting back those players, because at the same time, it'd be growing pains. At the same time, in order to get better at something, you go at least play and play
try,
exactly. So exactly. So I won't be too critical. We see where it goes. You watch more West Indies than me. Has Sammy made a difference in the team culture? Possibly. Maybe it seems to me. It seems like more. Yeah, because the players coming back, which means there's more willingness to want to play for the side. So that's good. That bodes well. But yeah, we'll see.
Okay, so we'll see what 2025 brings. That's a good note to end on, because it's our last show of the year, and we have a lot to look for in 2025, West Indies and football-wise. I mean, as Andrew so kindly said earlier, we are both fighting for the Premier League title. West Indies making some changes, and we want to bring you some more good content in 2025. So continue to follow us at the Dugout _Barbados. Maybe they should be my New Year's resolution.
Last week I said that I should take it over. So let me try. Let me see if this.
This is my New Year's resolution, though. I really should be better at this.
All right. So, as Marissa was saying, there's a lot to look forward to in 2025.
You don't have to start all over.
We appreciate. I have to do it my way. We appreciate your support. We appreciate the viewership. If you like this video, please like, share, and subscribe, and comment as well. By all means, please follow us collectively at the Dugout _Podcast. You can follow Marissa at Marissa Simone 91. And you can follow me at Drew 9106. Sorry, I had a brain freeze moment just now. You can follow me at Drew 9106. My apologies. Marissa, were you contaminated? I normally get it right.
Me?
Yes, you.
What?
But thank you to our sponsors as well, who have Pharmacy.
Yes.
Spirit Studios, and again, we'll see you back in 2025. Apologies for my slip. It was a mistake. Yes, like, share, and subscribe. We'll see you next time.